Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Batman Beyond review series. And today I'm here once again to provide an audio commentary watch along for another episode from season 2. And this time it's Lost Soul, one of my all-time favourites from the show's second season. Now, this episode was a very special one for me, and all of the episodes are special for me for lots of reasons. But this one in particular was very memorable because you did have a villain, but it wasn't necessarily a villain who would try to take down Batman or try to take over Gotham. This was about a guy who essentially wanted a second chance at life and to correct a lot of mistakes that he didn't get to do the first time round. And this dealt with a billionaire businessman who was incredibly smart. And before he died, he transferred his brain patterns into a computer and he would be able to still run his company from beyond the grave. But he remained dormant for well over 50 plus years and he downloaded himself into the Batsuit, corrupted it, and wanted to then have a proper body by trying to download himself into his grandson's body, which is quite freaky. So I really enjoyed this episode a lot, and this episode for me really saw Terry McGinnis coming into his own, not only as Batman, but as a crime fighter, and he really began to develop a full understanding of what it really means to be Batman. And it wasn't necessarily just about putting on the suit and fighting crime, it's about all of the qualities and having the integrity of what it means to be Batman. And I thought that really came across so well in this episode. And plus, we got essentially, if you really want to look at it, Terry McGinnis versus Batman, but not in the way you think. So this wasn't anything to do with any crazy dream sequences like we got in Perchance to Dream or any of those nightmare scenarios we got in Over the Edge. This was Terry trying to stop the Batsuit from being taken over and fully corrupted. And in order to do that, Terry had to put on a costume. Well, sort of. For this episode, anyway, we got our own unofficial treat of seeing Terry McGinnis become Nightwing. And I loved that. And I believe there was a comic book in the Batman Beyond universe run just before it got cancelled. And I do believe I have that somewhere, where for at least the portion of that issue, we got to see Terry McGinnis become Nightwing. And I thought that was a really cool moment. And to have that in the show, I mean, yeah, Terry didn't fully put on the whole Nightwing costume, but just the fact that he put on the mask said to me that, if Terry McGinnis was born a little bit later on, he could have made a good Nightwing for Bruce Wayne when he was Batman in his prime. I think Terry would have made a good replacement for Dick Grayson, in my opinion. But I remember watching this episode on CITV about 100 years ago, and I believe this was one of the last episodes I saw on CITV before they stopped showing it for whatever reason. And I remember it was very good. It was a very good episode. And I also rewatched the whole series back in 2020 and we got to this episode, Lost Soul. and it was even better than what I remembered. There were a couple of things I didn't remember, so it was kind of like a refresher. But from what I remember of this episode after the rewatch, it was excellent. It was one of my all-time favorites. Me and one of my good buddies, who you know as Geeker Beyond, we had a conversation about this episode a number of years ago, and he said to me, "Oh, would it have been cool if it was Edward Nigma coming back from the dead and taking over the bat suit, and you see the bat symbol turn into a neon green question mark?" And I thought, wow, that would have been amazing if they brought the Riddler back and he took over the bat suit, because you know, Riddler being the computer tech guy, especially in the DCAU, that would have been a great way to bring him back. But I understand and respect that they didn't want to just bring some of the old Batman villains back and just make them into Beyond versions. But I think if there was an opportunity, if I was writing the show, to bring the Riddler back in some capacity, this would have been it. This had Nigma's DNA all over it. But what we did get with this one, I loved it. But if I could go back and change this episode, I definitely would have brought Edward Nigma back, because this seemed more up his alley, so to speak. But this was still a fun episode and very enjoyable. And it asked a very interesting and powerful question, which we'll get to as we move along with this watch along. So, anyway, with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk and watch Lost Soul. So, here we go. On three. One, two, three. Do, 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 do. Here we go. And we're off. Lost Soul. And before we get there, we're going to once again enjoy the epicness that is the Batman Beyond intro, which still rocks all these years later. So, this episode, you could kind of say this was Terry's breakthrough episode. So, I'm going to guess by this point, Terry has been Batman for maybe about half a year. So he's already getting to grips with what it means to be Batman. And I do believe that we finally got to that stage in this episode. He took his position very seriously. And here we go. Lost Soul. And we get a little cameo from Summer Gleason, who was the news reader slash reporter for Gotham Inside. And she was kind of like a close friend of Bruce's, sort of. So Robert Vance was this clever businessman who died, but just before he died, he had his brain patterns transferred into a computer. So here he is. And he pretty much remained dormant for well over 50 plus years. So there is Gotham, TNBA Red Skyline, and here is Gotham 50 years later, and there is Robert Vance's building. Now, here is Robert Vance's grandson, Bobby. Now, Bobby had pretty much taken over the company after it was handed to him when his granddad died. So, Bobby reactivates the computer systems and brings his granddad back online. So, Robert Vance wants a new body, and he wants his grandson Bobby to help him get that new body. Now, Bobby is not really a bad person. He's just very young. And Robert Vance, he wasn't really a bad guy as such, but he Well, he's dead, isn't he? He's pretty much a computer program. So it's interesting that this episode, yes, Robert Vance went about things kind of the wrong way, but he wasn't really a bad guy. He just wanted a second chance to correct some mistakes, and he wanted to find out how much the world had changed since he died. So it was a pretty good episode from what I remember. And our favourite couple, Terry and Dana. Cool. I suppose you could look at this, you know, Robert Vance was kind of like Ultron Beyond, if that's a cool way to put it. And we get a little cameo from Corey Burton doing the voice of the elevator, who voiced Brainiac in Superman the Animated Series. Look at my boy Terry getting to grips with his lovely lady Dana. Woohoo! Nice. So it looks like Robert Vance has already started his shenanigans, so to speak. So he's taken over essentially a lot of Gotham's technology. Yeah, I suppose you could look at him as like an Ultron Beyond or Brainiac Beyond, depending on what takes you fancy. Yeah, it's an interesting character. Should they have brought him back? No, I think one episode was enough. So the elevator's going all crazy. Yeah, that's the good thing to do, Terry. Just pull out all the wires. Wow. But Mr. Wayne's going to. You do what you gotta do, but I'm taking the stairs. I remember I saw that picture with Dana's dress half down. I thought, wait a minute, did her and Terry try to, but they didn't. I think her dress just went down because the elevator went whoosh. There's Bobby, and the Batcave's in complete darkness, more than usual. I suggest you stop wasting your time and find out what's going on. Oh, I love this line here. The door's not working. I had to shut down the Bat computers before the virus kicked in. If you want out of the cave, you're gonna have to do it the old fashioned way. You're kidding, right? None of the Robins ever complained. Oh, I love that. The big old door for the Batmobile. Yeah, I love that little line where Bruce says, none of the Robins ever complained. That is very true. They didn't. So we see all the computer systems have been hacked, courtesy of Vance. Yeah, this was a good episode. It's been a while since I've seen this, but yeah, it was very good. Here comes Batman. Nice. Here we go. Cool. I like that. There's so many things the Batsuit can do. It's quite amazing. There's the computer system. That's it. Oh, nice shot. Here we go. Yeah, it's kind of like some of these shots here kind of reminds me of Skynet from Terminator. The machines trying to take over the world. Oh, thanks, Kitty. Oh, here we go. Oh, Come on, Terry, quick. Ooh. Is he dead? But he's not. And that moment where Terry got blasted, it's kind of like a little callback to Ghost in the Machine in Superman the Animated Series, where Brainiac blasted Lex Luthor not to kill, but to download himself into his body, which we didn't know about until Justice League Unlimited. So, although Justice League Unlimited came, you know, quite a few years after Batman Beyond, what Robert Vance did here is he just downloaded himself into the Batsuit. So, yeah, I can see how certain things kind of mirror each other. Bruce just sitting there, but we'll do your job. Stop wasting time. Here we go. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And there you go. See? Yeah, so Robert's already hacked into the Batsuit. So this is where, at least for the second part of this episode, Robert Vance is slowly taking over the Batsuit, and he's looking to take out Terry because, he has to live. He's a computer, and computers don't care. Oh, some nice creds there. Yeah. One thing I have to say, though, you know, Terry's Batman is a lot more chatty than Bruce's. Because if this was Bruce, he wouldn't even say a word. Hit the streets, punk. Nice. Here we go. Yep, this is where things start to go weird. Yeah, see. So essentially, what Vance has done, the failsafe device in the Batsuit, he's kind of like taken it over. So that's why Terry can't move properly. It's in case someone breaks in to the Batcave and steals the Batsuit, like what Terry did in Rebirth Part 2. So, yep, and there he is. Robert Vance has officially activated the Batsuit. Of course, there's another thing I never took into consideration. How cool, and I've only just realised now, how cool would it have been, and I think I have mentioned this in some other videos comments, how cool would it have been if Hardak came back and took over the Batsuit? Hardak Beyond, you know, the final part of the whole Hardak arc thing, and he takes over the Batsuit. So this could have been like his Silicon Soul revisited, so to speak. That would have been amazing. I think maybe could have had two opportunities. Maybe Riddler Beyond taking over the Batsuit, or Hardak Beyond taking over. That would have been awesome. Don't get me wrong, I still like this episode, but maybe this should have been Hardak. You know, wow. So Robert has taken over the Batsuit, and now he's essentially making Terry walk into the river, and he's going to essentially drown him, which is quite scary. Whatever you do, he'll stop you. Yeah, well, he can't stop me. There's the failsafe device. In case anyone breaks into the Batsuit, or in case the wrong person gets into it. But you can't. I just did. I love that line. Excellent stuff. So Terry can't move now. Yeah, it's a big deal and Terry's in danger when Bruce comes to the rescue. So here we go. Yeah, Terry's going to get wiped out here. Oh dear. Come on, Bruce, where are you? Oh, nice. Come on, Brucey. Save the boy. There we go. I remember this episode was quite heavy Bruce and Terry dialogue. I mean, they've always had good dialogue, but I remember this one was quite heavy Bruce and Terry dialogue, and this really deepened their dynamic. We'll wait till tonight then. I had a feeling you'd say that. It'll be better for me too. I've always been more a night person. Hey Bruce, can you do me one favor? What's that? Can you lend me a pair of pants? Dun 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 dun. Uh oh. Spooky. Wow. Always liked that idea, of the Batsuit being taken over and corrupted by someone. Only in Batman Beyond that could have worked. I'm not sure that would have worked in BTAS or TNBA, but it works fine in Batman Beyond because, it's all futurist and stuff. This little moment here, it's kind of cool. Bruce and Terry are having this little conversation in front of the costumes, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bruce and Dick from years earlier. And I like the fact that they're having words in front of a Nightwing costume. I think that's really awesome because even though Terry is now Batman, in some ways he kind of reminds me a little bit of Dick Grayson. Wow, that is cool. Where do you think you're going? To stop him. How? I, I don't know. I'll think of something. Just reminds me of like Dick going out and Bruce saying, "Where do you think you're going?" And here it is, the question that Terry asked: Is Batman just a suit, or is the man inside? Brilliant. Ah, see, Terry's got the old glare there. Like father, like son. Shh. You never heard that from me. I like how Bruce gives him his old utility belt. I would give you one of my old costumes, but most of them are pretty torn up. Bullet holes, gashes. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work. I love that. Puts a Nightwing mask on. I'm still going. Big smile on Bruce's face. That's my boy. Good job, son. Shh, you're not supposed to know that. Oh dear. Bobby. Who, who's there? Batman? Not exactly. What's the matter? Don't you recognize your old granddaddy? Scary. Help! Invasion of the Bat Snatchers. So now we're seeing Terry in old school Batman mode. So what you got in that utility belt of yours? Sweet. Picks the lock. Yes. Brilliant. Yeah, this is really good. As I said, it's been a while since I've seen this. So Robert wants to take over his grandson's body. How are you going to exist? Through you, Bobby. Oh, oh my God. The funny thing is about it, though, even though Robert has taken over the Batsuit, it's not actually like a physical body. It's just quite spooky. That's because I'm going to be in charge. In that suit? No, Bobby. In you. Oh, and he just like plugs himself. There you go. Poor Bobby. He didn't ask for this. Okay, Nightwing, do your thing. Oh, nice shot. Here we go. Yeah. Boom. It's like flying into a brick wall. Oh, here we go. Bring it. I'll give Robert credit though. He's using the suit to its fullest. Trying out all different techniques and stuff. Nice. Oh, maybe he could have put a costume on Terry, so no one would know who it is. But so you can see that the cowl's all completely torn in half. Night vision, infrared, ultraviolet. Ow. Oh yeah, like that's going to work. It's funny because you can do all this cruel punishment because it's not actually a person. It's like a machine. It's like with Terminator. They do all these horrific things to each other, but it doesn't really matter because they're not real people. It's just like they're a machine. I like that little shot there, Terry and the batsuit going at it. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit over the top, but it works. Here we go. Yeah, some of the fight scenes in this episode were quite horrific, but you know what? It's perfectly fine. It works. That's a cool shot there of Terry, the Nightwing mask. Yeah. Yeah, in another lifetime, I think Terry would have made an excellent Nightwing. And he throws oh dear, like, what's it like? Cable or drill? Oh god, like a giant plug socket sort of thing. Yeah, it's quite horrific. I think it's like a long extension, I think. Oh. Wow. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he pretty much overloads Robert Vance. Damn. Ugh.
One potato, two potato.
Jeez. Yeah, he just pretty much goes offline. That's a scary shot there. Oh wow. You have like hearing the child's voice at the end. And that's it, he's pretty much done here. Wow. Quite an unusual way to defeat someone. But as I said, it's not really a person, it's just like a machine, it's like a computer. The boy did good. Cool. That was great. It's really good. Very good episode. Look, I've got to do what I've got to do. Why don't we just let my grandfather rest in peace, shall we? Be happy to, Bobby. Be happy to. Oh, I love this shot of you. Oh, another good line coming up here. Terry, it's only the bat suit that's out of commission, not Batman. Awesome line. I love it. What a way to end the episode. Brilliant. Okay. And that wraps up my audio commentary watch along for Lost Soul. Excellent episode. One of my all time favourites from season two. Loved seeing Terry become Nightwing, or at least put the Nightwing mask on, taking on Robert Vance, who had taken over the Batsuit. Just love it. Absolutely love it. Maybe if I could have gone back, maybe this could have been Hardak Beyond, or maybe what Geeker Beyond suggested, maybe Riddler Beyond. But this was fantastic stuff. Absolutely loved this so much, and better than I remembered. Very good stuff. Really enjoyed it a lot. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What was your thoughts on Lost Soul? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of Terry becoming Nightwing? Do you think maybe he should have gone the whole way and put on the Nightwing suit? And what did you think of Robert Vance's motivations for corrupting the Batsuit? Do you think maybe he was a bad guy, or maybe he was just confused? And also, is there anything you would have changed about this episode? And also, what did you think of the great question that Terry asked Bruce? Is Batman just a suit, or is the man inside? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Batman Beyond review series, where I will be back to provide an audio commentary watch along for another episode from season 2, and this time it's going to be Hidden Agenda. So make sure you don't miss that. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.